Kuzampo and a very warm welcome to Bhutan This Week, a weekly news magazine program with me, Samtan Dolkar. Our top stories this week. His Majesty graces the opening of the 5th Royal Bhutan Flower Exhibition in Samdrup. The government postpones the plan to send an investigation team to Japan. And Punachangchuan hydroelectric project commissioning deferred to 2024. His Majesty the King graced the opening of the 5th Royal Bhutan Flower Exhibition at the Tentetang in Samdrup. His Majesty the 4th King, Her Majesty the Gatsin, His Royal Highness the Gase, and other members of the royal family also graced the event.
The 5th Royal Bhutan Flower Exhibition opened with over 100,000 plants across the Samdrup town on display. The exhibition this year was inaugurated coinciding with the 39th birthday of His Majesty the King. The Prime Minister, the Indian Ambassador, government officials and officials from the neighbouring Indian state of Assam also attended the event. Besides the gardens, the main venue includes stalls displaying local artisanal works and souvenirs, traditional medicine, tourism information booth, as well as food court run by entrepreneurs from Samdrup and neighbouring areas. 15 micro-gardens spread across 9.75 acres outside of Tendeltha will be permanent features of the town following the conclusion of the exhibition.
From now on, how do we maintain them? The question is about its sustainability. There will be challenges for us, but like we have been able to get results until now, we will work together, all of us in the government, private and the people will think as one and maintain it as it is now.
For the exhibition, His Majesty granted over 1,700 saplings of plants which thrive in southern climate as Sera. The Royal Bhutan Flower Exhibition was initiated in 2015 upon the royal command of His Majesty the King. Their Majesties, after the opening at the Tentetha, visited the micro-gardens created across the Samdrup town. This was the scene inside. Over 3,000 people witnessed the exhibition today.
We don't know much about the exhibition. Being here and looking at all the beautiful flowers, I'm feeling dizzy. Don't know what to do, so I'm just sitting here. Just sitting and relaxing with the happiness of being able to meet their majesties for the first time.
The sights are so pleasing. Our town is so different from what it used to be. It has become so beautiful now.
The town has become so beautiful, the footpaths and everything. Varieties of flowers have been planted. I am very happy. From now onwards, I would be grateful if it can be maintained like this.
It will be kept open to public and tourists until February 27.
The government has postponed its plan to send an investigation team to Japan to verify the issues with the Learn and Earn program. The Prime Minister at the Friday meet session said they are still considering if a team needs to be sent or not. He added visiting Japan won't have much impact in solving the existing problems and would only be a wastage of money and resources.
After much appeal and concerns from parents and students, the government had earlier shared they would send a team to Japan led by the Labour Minister. The Prime Minister today said visiting Japan alone cannot solve the problems.
As per the study, visiting Japan will not have much impact in solving problems that Bhutanese students are facing at present in Japan. We know every problem from here itself. We cannot get any new ideas even if we visit Japan. It will just be a wastage of money and time. Instead, this money can be used for paying students' loan. It doesn't mean that we don't want to go. If needed, we may go, but we don't think we will come back with any new solutions.
The Prime Minister also said the government is working closely with Bhutan Development Bank to defer loan repayments of the students. However, it may take a few more months since it has to follow bank procedures.
Firstly, the government does not have any authority to inform banks to cancel the loan interest. Secondly, we can change loan repayment procedure. We need clients who signed with the banks but they are currently in Japan. So we are discussing to draft new loan agreements. Once the documents are ready, we may send a person to get signatures from students in Japan. So we are hoping to implement within next 1 to 2 months.
Bhutanese students in Japan, meanwhile, say they are still struggling with issues in getting jobs, language schools seizing their passports, work permits expiring soon, and not getting enough income from working there. BBS was able to get in touch with a few of them through Facebook, who shared most students have decided to return home since their student cards expire next month.
Most Bhutanese students are planning to come back to Bhutan. We are suffering here. Moreover, our courses finishes by March. So I am also thinking of coming back to Bhutan. My student card expires in April, so they may not allow us to stay here.
I could not pay my loans from last year. I cannot earn enough income to pay back my loans. My loan penalty must have gone up now. Getting a job is very difficult here. Earnings from one job is just enough for our daily expenses. I do not have any saving.
When we do 2 jobs, earning is better, but it is very tough. And moreover, we are not allowed to do 2 part-time jobs. But when we stick with one work, we land up without being able to pay the loan.
Upon the invitation of a non-government organization in Japan, 2 representatives from Parents' Committee of Learn and Earn program will visit Japan next week for a month. The team will visit Japanese language schools and meet Bhutanese students there. They will also visit some of the important Japanese government offices and meet some journalists. The move is to help improve the lives of Bhutanese students in Japan. For Pema Sawang, Pup Game for BBS News.
Do not expect everyone in the civil service to walk away with a flat check as a monthly salary, says Prime Minister Dr. Lote Tshering. Prime Minister gave this hard-hitting response after the media sought updates on the recently formed 4th Pay Commission.
At a Friday media meet program held in Thimphu yesterday, Prime Minister said the salary revision of civil servants should be performance-based, expertise-based and passion-based.
Flat percentage for all public servants again is not fair, we know that. 5% of 5,000 is how much and 5,000 of 50,000 is different. So that one they will look into it. At the same time, one rank group, say P1 group, if they all paid 15,000 or 5%, again we know it's not fair. Because all P1s do not shoulder the same kind of responsibilities. All P1 have different kinds of capacities. We wanted some differentiation so that end of the day, end of the month, end of the career, what you have done for the system should have done for you also.
Prime Minister added that as per the Constitution, the Pay Commission is an autonomous body, so the government has not asked the Commission for details. However, the government would look forward to a wow factor once the Commission comes up with the recommendations.
A little different that I told them was, I said, we were very sure that they'll do a good job, but I wanted a so-called wow factor on that. Something unique, something different. I said, I will not be happy everyone to be taking a flat check end of the month. There has to be some surprises. Without putting in that extra effort, you will not be insured to get that amount at the end of the month.
That aside, Prime Minister commented that the present work pattern of the civil service does not encourage professionalism to the optimum level.
We all know that the present system is not very, very encouraging. Because end of the month, what you get is fixed.
A time-bound pay commission was constituted in January 12th this year. The governor of the Royal Monetary Authority, Dasha Penjo, is the chairperson of the commission, which has 8 members. The commission will submit its recommendations to the cabinet in 3 months. Pamela Harden, PBS News.
Bhutan committed to eliminate cervical cancer at the 144th session of the World Health Organization held in Geneva, Switzerland last month. The ministry has initiated the elimination committee who will provide with the roadmap towards elimination. Cervical cancer is the top most common cancer affecting Bhutanese women.
Bhutan is currently serving as the executive board member of World Health Organization, along with 34 countries. The main function of the executive board is to decide on agendas. And this time, Bhutan has committed to eliminate cervical cancer. We
have policies in place and introduced pap smear. We have started vaccinations too to protect the next generation. But the problem is with the ones who already have cervical cancer and those who are at risk. That's why it's important to make interventions. And in our country, half the population is female and cervical cancer tops the cancer list in female.
Cervical cancer is a sexually transmitted disease caused by human papilloma virus. Unlike other cancers, cervical cancer is preventable if detected early.
Cervical cancer is easily preventable. Sexually transmitted disease. If it was not preventable, it is easily detectable. If it was detected, it's easily treatable. So, any factors check preventable, detectable, treatable, all prefixed by easily.
That is why human papilloma virus vaccine program was started in 2010.
Vaccination,
females get cervical cancer from men. And for this, it's important we not only vaccinate women, but men too. If men don't give the virus, the women don't get it. Because it's a sexually transmitted disease, people should be extra careful. If somehow people get this, it's easily detectable. We have been missing at many layers of the disease's lifespan. And all these are easily doable.
According to last year's annual health bulletin, some 1,300 cancers were reported in the country in 2017 and close to 100 were cervical cancers. Cervical cancer is the 6th most referred case after breast, lung, head and neck, blood and thyroid cancers. Sunampem for PBS News.
Antimicrobial that prevents and treats infections caused by bacteria, parasites, viruses and fungi has become a threat. The overuse of antibiotics is making infections difficult to treat, and this is leading to thousands of deaths every year globally through antimicrobial resistance or AMR. The 11 Southeast countries aims to control and contain AMR by creating awareness on use of antibiotics with timely policies and measures and through antimicrobial stewardship program.
Every day, an ideal hospital like in Paro prescribes around 60% of their patients with antibiotics. Some patients do not complete the course, while some take it without prescriptions. And some take antibiotics on and off to keep the infections at bay for years. Either way is harmful. Such practices will lead to antimicrobial resistance or AMR. World Health Organization defines AMR as an ability of bacteria, viruses and some parasites to stop antibiotics, antiviral and anti-malarials from working against it. As a result, treatments become ineffective, infections persist and may spread. Without effective antibiotics, the success of major surgery and cancer chemotherapy will also be compromised.
We want to make sure that we have effective medicines to treat these infectious diseases, but they're also very important to many other areas of modern medicine. Many of the surgeries, many of the transplantation and many part of medicine depends on using these medicines to control infections. So if we don't have these medicines in the future, we might not be able to do many of these modern medical interventions.
Researchers around the world have found that medicines are often prescribed for conditions that are normally self-healing, such as sore throats, or for viruses which do not even respond to antibiotics.
People have had infections with viruses, for example, and they have taken antibiotics. But antibiotics don't work for viruses, and that is the overuse that we do not want to see. So in order for people to use antibiotics correctly, they should go to health personnel and ask, is this an infection that I should have antibiotics for? And if yes, they should get a prescription and then follow the prescription. So they should not be afraid to take antibiotics, but they should take it when the health personnel tell them, now you should take it.
Animals are often given antibiotics and animal products are consumed every day by people. This might also lead to AMR.
Here the big problem is that antibiotics are used often as growth promoters. And of course there is then also transmission of resistant bacteria between the human and animal sectors and vice versa. And in addition, for example, all of the antibiotics that are used in the healthcare facilities or by patients often end up also in our water systems. And so it's also an environmental pollution issue.
Through antimicrobial stewardship program incorporated in National Action Plan, hospitals will improve the use of antibiotics, reducing resistance to antibiotics and decreasing unnecessary cost. Health professionals and public are created awareness on prescription and use of antibiotics. In Bhutan, the program is implemented only in the National Referral Hospital today. Bhutan's National Action Plan for Antimicrobial Resistance was launched in 2017. For Sangachozom in Paro, Pupkem, for BBS News.
The commissioning of Punatangchu 1 hydroelectric project has now been postponed to 2024. This, the Economic Affairs Minister said, is due to the overburdened muck of previous floods above the dam site.
The Economic Affairs Minister said the project's delay has got everyone concerned. It was heightened by the slide that occurred near the project's dam site on the 22nd of last month. However, Minister Loknath Sharma said the recent incident is not an issue to be concerned about.
So the recent slide, of course, had been part of the slide we had in 2000 earlier. So earlier, part of this slide is part of the slide. It happened in the part of the slide that was already there. So concerning the current slide or the recent slide, there is no problem.
He also added the recent slide has got nothing to do with the time extension of the project.
The time extension of the project, due to that, it is not due to that slide. The earlier slide, if you see, you have a whole muck there. They're supposed to, the ultimate answer was to remove that. So the removing is going to take some time. Therefore, the project might take another 1 year more because of having to take out this muck. Therefore, we are keeping the time at 2024. That's the reason. And there are no other reasons that it will take further than that.
As the project's chairperson, the minister said he's more concerned about the long-term solution for the slides and the project. For now, reports claim that the area above the slide is safe. And regarding the slide area, it will be secured once the dam is built. However, a technical committee meeting to be held next week in New Delhi will come up with technical solutions and give clearer idea on what Punatangchu 1 should do. Works for the 1,200 megawatt hydropower project began in 2008 and was scheduled to be complete in 2016. The completion deadline was later rescheduled to 2021 until the recent change. Sunampem for BBS News.
Bhutanese society is quick to adopt technology that proves to be useful. And at this time and age, it is the social media. While the medium is widely used, many experts, legal practitioners, and in fact, the users themselves say that there is a lack of social media literacy in the country. Consequently, many issues arise related to its irresponsible and inappropriate use.
Para police detained 3 women aged in between 28 and...
Recently, 3 women were arrested for a battery case. The video of the incident went viral on Facebook and WeChat. While the police are looking for the person behind the post, many raised brows, questioning if it is ethically right for someone to make a personal matter public. But this is not an isolated case. There is a history of defamation, circulation of fake news, and other inappropriate usage of social media in Bhutan. In fact, technology, as always, has moved faster than the ability of people to understand its impact.
I'm also one of the active users of social medias like Facebook. I write everything I like and I share everything I like. But I'm not aware of the do's and don'ts of using social media.
Who use the social media, if they use in a positive way, I think this really help the people in media, in any media of today's present world. So I think that the social media should also have some do's and don'ts.
Since many are not aware of responsible use of social media, they share photos and videos without respecting others' privacy.
The Bhutan Center for Media and Democracy, a non-profit organization, provides training on news and media literacy to students, monks and nuns among others. According to its executive director, Bhutanese are not prepared to use social media properly.
We find that many of us are very reactive to social media, to the use of the phone, to the internet. We basically just learned how to use it technically, but we're not as conscious of the impact of this free and open use. So we've seen, bullying videos, videos that are inappropriate, being shared openly and getting everybody into trouble and the families in distress. So these are things that show that we need more and more greater awareness of social media literacy.
From a legal perspective, acts of defamation, breach of privacy, and creating civil unrest through fake news are punishable under the Penal Code of Bhutan.
Under the section of libel, a person who is convicted for libel shall be imprisoned for the minimum of 3 years and above, and a maximum of 5 years and below, with compensation. This is if there, in the process of libel, if there is any matter of murder, armed robbery and treason, so the convicted person will be liable for 4th-degree felony. Whereas in absence of such murder, treason, armed robbery, etc., the person who is convicted for libel should be imprisoned for minimum of 1 month to maximum of 1 year and below.
WeChat, WhatsApp, and Facebook are among the widely used social media sites in the country today. This is Sonam Chudin for BBS News.
Well, that's all we have for you this week. Thank you for joining us. This is Samtan Tolkar saying goodbye.